Okay, Jesse, you there?
Yep.
Okay, just gonna start you off with in question one. Well, not question one. Okay, it says once the guy's logged in, we're supposed to show a message box that says "Welcome to Easy Kanban." We're gonna do that last because it's like really easy. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do question three, which says the user should then be able to choose one of the following features from a menu, which is add task, show reports, which is coming soon, and quit. So what we do is we make an array called string and a status, and then we put the squiggly brackets, close it off, and then we add our arrays, which is we're not okay. No, what changes? Not status, options, and then they wanted us to do add task like this. What is the other one? Show report, but it's coming soon, so they don't have it. So show report in the brackets we put coming soon, and cancel. So next we do a J option pane. Now the J option pane that we're going to be doing is what is it? An option dialog. See, because there's a show confirm dialog, an input dialog. That's the one we normally use where we add the values, and then there's show option dialog. This allows us to add 3 options in that. So we go yes, no, or cancel. Now the parent component we're going to make null. This thing here, args, we're going to call this please select an option. We're going to call the title task option. Yeah, we're just going to call it that. This is just an example. I didn't call it this. Okay, now these 2 zeros here, this is for the type of J option you're doing, and this is for what it is. This is just an icon thing. We'll focus on this later, and this and that. But just to make things easier, we'll make this 0 because we don't need that, and we'll make this null. So what we do here, we do J option pane dot, and then we look for this, which is yes, no, cancel option. That allows us to add our arrays. So we go yes, no, cancel option, and then we put another J option pane. And this is basically we're saying, okay, what type of J option pane is it? So then we're gonna make it we'll make it a plain message. Option, yes, no, plain message, no, options. Check if that's alright. Hope that is. Just check. Yeah. Oh yeah, wait. I don't think I need to do that. Okay. I think I can call this option, so I'll just call this responses instead. Call that responses. Oh, okay, no. It is right. I forgot this. We must always add this. So to make this easier, I'm just gonna press enter. So this is just a null thing. This isn't important. So we got our option, our text. Then we got our title. The code, the J option pane that will allow us to add the three values. The kind of message it is. Null this because it's just one icon. This is the array, and then this is just another value. So then we'll ignore this. This is the message text. This is the title of the box. This allows us the three button option, and then this, it's just the option pane type. We'll ignore that, and then this is the array. Normally it would be something else, but because we already defined the array beforehand, it's going to add these values. So then if we run this, it should, here you go, please select an option, add task, show report, coming soon. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, I forgot to mention that 0 at the end. This basically means we're selecting, okay, what's the button that's going to be selected first, just to help people out. You can see add task has this box around it. So we're basically saying, oh, do you want to add this? Do you want to do this first? You know, it's just like a neat way of saying, okay, we can do this. Since this doesn't do anything yet, it's just going to end today. So once we've done all of this, we need to figure out the values of each thing. So we go system.out.println. Okay, and then we need to find out the values of these buttons. So we will call this integer val is equal to j option pane, and then we just do the val. Okay, so then we run this. Let me just open Notepad since I'm streaming this. Okay, so we run our code. Okay, so we click add task. Add task outputs to 0. So then we'll just say add. Okay, I'll do it here. So then here we'll say add task is 0. You know, we'll delete this when we're done. This is just to help us out. So then we run it again. We say show report. Show report is 1. So show report is equal to 1. And then one more time, cancel. Cancel is equal to 2. So cancel is equal to 2. Okay. So we don't really need this, but we'll add it anyway. So then now what we do is we need to make it so when our user selects these options, it will add the task. It will either show the report or will cancel. So this one would end the program and they
It's
click.
not showing the interface thing, the
Oh, it's not.
block, message block.
Can you see it now?
No.
Wait, it's not showing the what?
The I can see the code, but not the when you run it.
Oh,
Doesn't show anything.
Okay, well, wait, let me just switch it to general then. Okay. Stream settings. I'll just set it to my desktop. I think it makes it a window itself. Okay. Change window. Okay. No, just screens. Yeah, okay, screen one. Okay, can you see my Discord now? Cheers.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I don't know if it's my PC or internet's getting slow. Discord crashed. Okay. Yeah, sorry about that. Discord crashed. Okay, maybe later. Okay, let me just do this again. So it's gonna screen. Okay. Can you see my Discord screen now?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Okay, so it's still running. Okay. So then, just to go back to this, we're gonna, okay, you get everything up until this point, right? You get all of this.
Sorry?
Do you understand everything so far?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so when we run this code, it will show us three boxes: add task, report coming soon, and cancel. So now what we're trying to do is we're trying to make it so when they add the task, it will run this other code or show the report. But since this doesn't work, this is supposed to loop. I haven't really figured it out yet, but we won't focus on this much. And this is supposed to end everything or exit on close. So then we just click the buttons on that just to get the values, which is 0. So add task is 0, show report is 1, cancel is 2. So then let me just go back, check what I did. Okay, so I did a while loop. Okay. So then we called this, I call it options. Okay. So we'll just call this value. So we'll say while packet value does not equal 1. Oh yeah, this doesn't equal 1. Then we do all of this. So then we go if value equals 0, then we run the code, and then we end it. So we will do the code later. Actually, we'll create it for now, and we'll name it. So we'll call this thing task number. So then this asks us the number of tasks we want. Just double check. Yeah, task number. And then when that code runs, we'll end the whole code. We'll call it break. We add another if statement. If value equals 2, then it ends the whole code. We do break. So then it basically means, okay, now everything's done. It equals to 2. That because value equals to 2. That's our cancel button. So then just make it easier. This closes app, and then we got if value is equal to 1, we just show report. So haven't really done that yet, still haven't really fixed it, because what that's supposed to do is if that equals that, then this is supposed to loop back and show this again. So, but I don't know if it will let me do int val and run it again, you see, because I'm getting that. So I just ignore that. I'll fix it up later. So now we don't need these anymore. We know what they are. So then, just to test it out, we'll grade this out. So then if we go run again, we go cancel, it does 2, but then ends the thing, because we got this out, we got the system.println out. So we'll just grade this out too. Select all of that, grade out. So then we go cancel, enter code. And so on and so on. Okay, so this, we need to create this. And I think I made that into a Boolean. Oh, yeah. So then what we do is, we go all the way to the end here. Okay, we need to fix this, you know, indentation is important. Okay, so this is just for the general thing. And these are all if statements here. Okay, so now, and okay, that's the while loop statement. That's if statement 1. I forgot if statement 2. If statement 2. If statement 3. And then that's the while loop. And then this should be the public static. Okay. And then this, that's just for the whole thing. Okay, so now underneath the public static, we need to make a class. So then we will make a public. Actually, I'm going to add a space here just to make it easier to see. A public static boolean. We'll call it task num. And squiggly bracket. And then right underneath here, we do return true. Do you understand that so far?
Yes.
Okay. So then what I'm basically saying is once add task gets added onto it, makes it to this if statement, it's going to run this class. So then what they want us to do next is make an application that will give us a task name, task number, task description, and stuff like that. But first, what we need to do is make an application that lets us run that as many times as we want. So I'm going to just close all of this. Continue to create. Okay, so then we do another. Yeah. We do another J option pane, but this time we need to ask them for an number of tasks. We'll go J option pane dot show input dialog. Gonna go, please add number of tasks, just so that it runs the J option pane dialog, and then we close it off with a curly bracket. Now we need to loop this. Well, we need to use a for loop, so then adds another thing. So what we're gonna do is, underneath this one, we're gonna make another class. So public static boolean task maker, and then we just do that, and then we return true just for that. Okay, when he adds the number of tasks, this needs to run after he reaches this value. Now to do that, we've already done this, so then we need to make this into an integer, which then we'll be able to run this. So we call this int a. If it's already integer, now we need to parse this basically. So we need to set a value, integer a is equal to this, parse this. Because we're doing an input value, this is basically a string. So then this would be string, I'm going to call it number like that one, string number is equal to that. Because it's a string, that means that I can't make it into an integer yet, because if I just say string and then equal to this, like anything will be accepted. So like 2, 3, but if I wrote them down, and we don't need that, we need them to be in numbers. So then we go string number, then we do int integer a. So then we're trying to turn this into an integer. Integer a is equal to, now we have to type integer, the actual word. I don't know why it does this, but we have to. Dot parse integer, and it's gonna basically say, this is basically saying that our number now, the string here, is gonna become a number. And then what we do next is we do a for loop. So for, and then we're just gonna do this. So enter, just to make this easier. So okay, wait. Are you getting this so far? I'm not moving too fast or anything.
No, not at all.
You're not getting it?
No, I am getting it.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, I'm gonna carry on. So int I is equal to 0. Then we do I is less than a, another a semicolon, and then we do our increment I plus plus. So this is a for loop with the integer value, the condition, the statement, and the increment. So what we're basically saying is I is equal to 0 and I is less than a, which is our integer, then I'm going to put in, which means we're saying that a is greater. So whatever value is added into this, we'll then run this task, it will increment. So then now we'll do task maker. So then if we do task maker, it will run this into the for loop. So then if we run the whole thing, okay, add tasks. Now it's going to ask us how many tasks do we want to add. So we're going to say 2. It doesn't do anything yet because we haven't added a value here. So we're basically done with this. So we can just close this. And we're basically done with this. So we can just close this. So now our main focus is making the task maker or the task app, if you want to call it that. So then what it says here, we need to design an application that allows us to write the task name, the task number. Task number starts with 0, but more the task number starts with 0. This number is increment or there's more numbers added, but this doesn't really matter. Task description, the developer details, how long the task is going to take, task duration, the ID, and the status. And so then we're going to just start with the easiest one, which is just task name. Okay, with a volume, I just going to check how much space my PC still has. Okay, seems good so far. Okay, so then we do J option pane dot show input dialog. We add a message, enter task name. We close that off. Okay, that's for our task name. Next, they want us to add the task number. So then we go same thing. J option pane dot show inputs dialog, and then we say add task number. And then we're done. We do that. Now, just to give you a quick test and like quick idea what our application is doing so far. If you remember this for loop here, when we add the number of tasks, it's gonna make an integer, which will be the value of the number of tasks we add, and then it's gonna run this code that many times. So if we run our code so far, okay, we'll add our tasks. We'll add 2 tasks. So then now it asks for a task name, so we'll just write gibberish. Task number 5. Now it's asking us again, so then gibberish again. Call this one task number 2, and then it ends it so far. Do you get what's going on?
Yes.
Okay. So then what they want us to do next is add a task description. Now the condition for this is the description should not exceed more than 50 characters in length, and if it does, like then the message should say please enter a description of less than 50 characters. If it's below 50 characters, then it says task successfully captured. So what we need to do here is make a pattern, that pattern thing we did last time, and then do an if statement. So then what we do here, I'm just gonna add these lines just to separate it so we don't get confused. Okay. So then now we do J option pane dot show input dialog, and then we say task description. Be sure to customize this on your own. Okay, so we go task description. Now, before we do anything here, we go all the way up here. Okay, I've got a whole bunch of stuff here that I don't need. So let me just delete all those. Delete. Delete. Okay. So we need to import the pattern import and the match import. So then we do import java x dot, no, not java x, java dot util dot regex dot pattern for the first one, and then we do import java dot util dot regex dot matcher for the second part. Next, we go underneath here. We say pattern p is equal to pattern dot, and it's going to pick a compiler, compile. We close that. Now, if you remember this from last time, we have to add that weird pattern we did, which is basically, I don't know if how does it keep messing it up? This line here. So let me see if I can remember it. Yeah, okay. So then we do two squiggly brackets, and then we do quotations, sorry, and then two brackets in between. And then what we do is, I think it's question mark, right? Yeah, question mark is equal to dot star. We set the type of pattern, and then we close it off and then times it by, yeah, close it off and then times it by our limit, our character limit. So then dot squiggly bracket 0 or 50, and then we close it off again. Now there needs to be something here, so we're just gonna say A to Z. So they can accept anything from uppercase, lowercase, A to Z, as a condition. Next we do matcher M is equal to M dot, oh, sorry, not M, P dot matcher. And then we do that. Okay. We need to give this a name so then this makes sense. So, okay, it says import, so we're just going to be lazy and call this import. So we're going to call this string input is equal to that. If I did that correctly, no, I don't think I can call it that. There's something. Yeah, wonder why my match is in italics. Oh no, because I didn't call it. I spelled it wrong. Okay, here you go. Match M, import. Okay. Now it's saying this is wrong. But figuring out it's half the fun. So where did I mess up? Oh yeah, I'm missing a bracket here, that's why. There you go. So this is our pattern. So then now we need to do an if statement. Now the if statement is for the description. So now we have to say that what we said is the description must contain letters, A to Z. I don't think it matters lowercase, uppercase. And it must be from 0 to 50 characters. It can't be greater than 50 characters. So then we do an if statement. So if M matches, then we run the if statement. So, okay, I gave this way too much space. So if M matches, so if the string matches, then we do another J option pane. But this J option pane is different. This J option pane outputs a message. You know, it's sort of like doing a print system.out print line, but it's like its own thing. So we do show message dialog. We'll go for this one. We'll make parent component null because we're not using that. And then here we'll add what they want us to do. So if M matches, if the pattern matches, then we'll say task captured, successfully captured. So then we put that here. Else, if it doesn't match, else we do another J option message pane. So J option pane dot show message dialog null, and then we click that will we copy and paste this. So please enter all description of 50 characters or less. So then now we do that. Get that so far?
Yep.
Okay. So now if we run it, it's gonna do this again. Add task, add number of tasks. We're just gonna make it easy. 1 task name. We're just gonna call it Dave. Task number 2. Task description. Now I'm just gonna say this is about Dave. That's under 50 characters. It says task successfully captured. If we test it out again and make it go over, so then we go, okay, 1 task name, Greg, task number 3, and it will just write gibberish. See how far we can go. And then we click OK. Please enter a description of less than 50 characters. So that exceeds it. Okay. So now we've done that. This is for this code. So this line of code allows us to run, allows us to input a description, and the character limit is 50. Okay, so now just to make this easier, I'm gonna cut this off here. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do, we need to make a developer detail. Now this is just pretty easy. We're just gonna do the same thing. We're gonna do show input dialog, and then task duration, same thing. So then we go J option pane dot show input dialog. We'll just say enter developer details. Well, they call it developer details, so we'll just call it developer details as well. Developer details. But we'll just say first name and last name, because that's what they want. First name and last name. We'll put it in brackets. Okay, we got that. Yeah, forgot about that. And then we do another J option pane. J option pane dot show input dialog task duration. Okay, so then we'll just run the task duration, and it will just ask us what do we want from these two, like add our details, first name, last name, and task duration. So just quick show off, add one task, name Dave's task. This is his first task. This is his first task. 150 characters, and then his name is David Harrison. And then his task, the task needs to be in hours. Now, we should probably just say task duration, and then we'll just put brackets in hours. But we'll say his task is 3 hours long. You know, this is just for future references. We'll just say, we'll just put HRS for hours. Next, what they want us to do, they want us to do a task ID. A task ID that auto-generates a task which contains the first 2 letters of the task name, a colon, the task number, a colon, and the last 3 digits of the developer, all in caps. So then it should be like this. So what we need to do now is basically add set variable values for this. So okay, I'm just gonna write that down. So they want an ID for that that contains the first 2 letters of the task name. The first 2 letters of the task name with a colon. First 2 letters of the task name with a colon. The task number and the last 3 letters of the last 3 letters of the developer name. You know, okay, and that's gonna take a while. So then I'm just gonna close this off again, make this easier. Okay, so now we're here. Okay, so then let me just, we're in the task maker part. We are, okay, yeah. Before we do all of that, we need to set values for this stuff. So for our task name, our task number, and our developer name. So we go to task name, which is here. We'll call this one string t name is equal to task name. They also wanted the task number. So then I think also when I was doing this, I think I made task number a string as well. Yeah. So then task number string t num is equal to our task number. And then they also set developer details. So then we'll call this one string dev is equal to j option, like that. So then we've got our string is dev det. We got our dev details as dev det. Our number is t num, and our task name is t name. So then what we need to do is make 2 strings with a substring and the length that minuses from 3. Just to make this easier, I'll explain. So then we'll call this first one string tn, that's task name, is equal to t name dot substring integer index. Now I'm just gonna use the easier one. They've got 0 in that, but we're just gonna go with this one. This is just basically gonna select the first character. Now I am a bit lazy to. No, I'm not gonna be lazy. So then we're gonna do tn just to print this out. So we're gonna run all of this. At task 1, task name Greg. Since we added that substring thing, it's gonna print out these two, the gr. So then, okay, task number 1, description, the developer details, don't care, duration 4 hours. Okay, we printed out Greg. I think because I had to do that, that's why. See, yeah, because it now depends. I want to say appends it. I don't know if I'm using the term right. Add number task 1, task name, call it Greg again. Task number 1, description, don't care, details, don't care, duration 3 hours. Okay, see, it goes gr. This line of code makes it so we are taking the first 2 letters of our task name that we entered. Now the next one is to, okay, first they want us to do the task number as well. That's pretty easy though. We've already set a value for task number, so we just ignore that. They want us the last 3 letters of the developer details. So we do string last 3 is equal to developer details, and we call that dev-det. Dev-det dot. There we go. Substring 0. Just fix this. Substring 0, 0, 0. Now I remember correctly, I minus it. Oh yeah, substring. We don't do that. Okay, so we do substring, but then we need to get the length. So we do dev-det dev-det dot length minus 3. If I did that correctly, yeah. So now what this basically saying is, it will output the substring of this. It will output dev-det, our developer details. But with the minus 3, it will only output the last 3 of what we're doing. So then if we copy this, paste it here, and then we call this last 3. So then now we just run this code again. At task 1, task name Timmy, task number 1, task description gibberish again because we don't care, developer details Timothy James, and the task duration 3 hours. So then now look, it got T, hey, 12 times, cool. So TI, that's the first 2 letters, and MES. So then we don't need this anymore. So then what we do now is, just so the person knows the ID, we're going to put it in the message box for the ID. So we go J, let me just enter this, yeah, for space. J option pane dot. We go show message dialog. Parent component we null. Now for this, to show the person's ID, they wanted okay, first let's just do this. Task ID. Okay, so they wanted the first two letters of the name, and then semicolon, not semicolon. Yeah, first two digits in the name. First two digits in the name. Colon the task number. Colon last two digits of the name, all in caps. So then what we then do is we go plus. We add two brackets. Now within this bracket, we do TN. T caps N, which is basically the string here. We do TN plus parentheses, no quotation marks, I mean, semicolon, and then we plus that again. They wanted the task number, so then we look for task number, we have it under tnum. So then tnum plus another colon plus the last three digits. So we got it under last three. Then at the end of this bracket here, we do dot to uppercase. So now, if we run all this, so then add task, one task, the task name, arclight, we'll just call it that, arclight, okay, just arclight, okay, arclight, task number, we'll call this task number 5. This is about arclight, that's the description. Developer details, it was made by, let's go with David Harrison again. David Harrison. The duration was 4 hours. And here we go. Here's our task ID. We should make this a dash instead, but here's our task ID. So now we've got first two letters, colon, the task number, colon, last three letters, and all in caps. So then I'm just gonna make this a slash so it's not confusing. Are you getting all this so far?
Yep.
Okay, that's good. I mean, look, we're basically cruised through all of this. So now we're just here, status. And all I have to do is this little stuff here, which isn't long. It's just testing stuff. This won't take long. We'll test this, and then we'll be done for task 3. We'll be done with this, and then we'll just do GitHub tomorrow. So then after this, we've done all of this. So now, just gonna enter that. We're just gonna cut all this off, just to say, okay, we're done with this. We're done with this for now. Next. Okay, I just want to see how long my program's been recording for. 54 minutes. Ooh. I hope that isn't big. Okay. Okay. So now, what we need to do next is task status. Now, this task status is basically just the same as when we had to do this add task thing. So then we just do string, we're making an array now. So string status is equal to squiggly brackets, we close it off, semicolon. Okay, so then it's to do, doing, and then done. This is our array. So then now we do the J option pane input option. So J option pane dot show option dialog. And now we do the same thing. So again, just to make this easier, no. I'm just gonna press enter for all of these. Enter, 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 enter. Okay. So this is null. We ignore this. This is the message box. So then we will say here, please select task status. Task status. We'll call it, it's the box title, we'll call it status. Then we do the other one again, where we say what kind of option pane is it. So J option pane dot. Now the same thing again, we do yes, no, cancel option. You know, there's the yes, no option, there's the yes option, and the yes, no, cancel, which gives us 3 selections. Next, we do the message type. So J option pane dot. Now you get different options. We can show an error message, which is it shows like that little funny X you see when you get an error, something like that, you know, where it's like you know, like when something wrong happens in your PC, it's like then you got the information message that's giving you info on that. And then we're just gonna go for plain message. If you do want to get fancy though, for other stuff, like actually no, I'm just gonna leave it, you know, not gonna overkill it. Okay, so we have now set our message box, the title of the box, the button selections we have, and then the type of message it is, the plain message. Icon will make null. Icon is just so if you want to add custom icons, like icons in yourself, you know, like anything you want, like maybe smiley face or something else, you can do that. But since it's not really needed yet. Well, not yet. It's not really needed because they didn't ask us to do it. We're just going to leave it in null. Status is our string array. So it's going to replace yes, no, and cancel with to do, doing, done. And then this will make it 0. And 0 will mean that it's going to start with the little box is going to select to do first. But we can make it 1, which will start here, or 2, which will go here. And then we close it off. So if we run this, add task, just one task, task name, Billy Bob, task number 2, task description, gibberish, Billy Bob, the third, 3 hours for his task, this is his ID, and then it says, okay, please select task status. So is he currently doing it? Is it on his to-do list, or is it done? And you just select one of these 3. Yeah. You get everything so far?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Like, if there's anything else you want me to go over, like, just before we move on, like, just say so. Like, there's nothing you're confused about.
I think I'm good so far.
Okay. So then, now we've done this. I'm still trying to figure out, because the next part we need to do, just need to figure out something, because when I output this, it outputs them as the numbers, not as the words, but I'm going to figure it out later. Now, we're on question 7. You know, we've done all of 6 now. So now we're here. See, we're pretty much close to finishing now. Well, finishing most of it. So now we need to do another J option pane, a message pane, which gives us the full details of the task in the following order. So the status of the task first, then the details, then the task number, then the task name, and then the task description, ID, duration. So then we're just going to say default. We're just going to copy this the following order, so I don't have to type that out. The following order, we'll just copy that. And then we just put this here. Okay. So now the following order, they want us to do in a task status, developer details, task number, task name, description, ID, and stuff like that. So then we're just gonna do this again. So now to do that, we're gonna do a message pane, but we need to set variable options for the message pane. So we got our task status. That's this. So we'll call it ins stat is equal to J option pane. That's our first one. Developer details, we got under dev dat. Task number, we got it under task num. Task name, we got t name. Task description, did we add anything for that? We call it input, but we shouldn't call it that because it would make it confusing. We'll call it desk. So we'll call it desk. So now that's task description. Task ID. Task ID, I couldn't get it to its own value. So what I did was I just copied this and put it in for the message. And then duration. And the duration, we'll just call it DUR. So let's just look for it. Task description, developer details, task duration. Here's duration. Just call it string de is equal. Okay. Now we do J option pane dot show there's just something I'm gonna just teach you quick. Let me just open up, make a new main class. Just call it show off, whatever. Here's demo. Just gonna copy this. Normally when you're writing something, like when you're outputting something, it does it in a straight line, you know. So if I said this is Tom, and then I say plus Dave is underneath him. Normally when you output something like this, even if you're using system.out.println, when you output stuff like that, it puts them in the same line, you know, and we don't want this. We want it so one is underneath the other. You know, it's like Dave's underneath him. This is Tom, Dave's underneath him. So what we do is, in between this, we do plus. We do another plus here, just to make it easier. Plus, semicolon, quotation marks. We do slash n. And what slash n does is it will basically say, okay, the next line after slash n is going to go in the next row. So now if we do that, okay, so if we do that, now it'll be like, this is Tom, David's underneath him. You know, you get that?
Yeah.
Okay, so just remember, when you need to do a line that goes underneath another one output, always use this. So now if we go back here, they want the task status, developer details. So then we go task status, and then we just do that plus stat, and then we go plus quotations and then we do plus. What I normally do is I end it off like this and then press enter, so then it's not like this whole long line that you have to scroll across to. So now we're just going to do that. Now here we go, and now here's our next line. So now we just go underneath it, do another one, developer details, that plus dev, that's what we call it, plus slash n plus go underneath again. Wonder why it's saying that's wrong. It's because I didn't add a 0 here. Yeah, because I didn't add a 0 here. So I didn't need one here. That's weird. Oh, no. Because I didn't add it. Okay, just ignore that. Okay, so then now we do task number plus tnum plus n plus that task num. Then we go our task description plus desk plus slash n plus that, and our last one, oh wait, no, not our last one. Okay, then we got task ID. Now because again I was struggling to look for a way to turn that to assign a variable to that, what I did was just okay, wait, make that into a slash because it's confusing. What I did was I just did plus our message pane, that's this whole line, plus that, plus slash n. Okay, something is off here. Yeah, it's this. This should not be here either. Oh wait, no. Yeah, that's what I messed up. It shouldn't be a J option pane inside a J option pane. I didn't copy this, the whole thing. I just copied this part here. This part in the back. Okay, so then I just copied that. So then plus that. So then we've got Tn plus Cm plus the last three plus uppercase. There you go. Plus N. Okay, plus. Okay, Tn plus Tnum. Yeah. Okay. And that's our ID. And then last but not least, we got our duration. Our task duration. And then we just add that. And then we call it there. We don't need that. Okay. So now, if we do all of that again, add task, add number of task, one task, task name, we call it dev test, task number, it's out there task, task description, this is a demo test, successful, developer details, David Harrison again, made them up. It took 4 hours to do this. That's task ID, DE, Reason. Look kind of cool. His task status, he's done it. And then here's our message. Now this is a 2, but I'm gonna try to figure out and tell you later how to make this into down into do. But so far you can see now, developer details, the task number, the description, his ID, and how long his task took. Okay, I want to fix this though, so here I'm just gonna add plus HRS. Okay, just because it annoyed me. So then one task, dev test, task number 3. This is dev test done. David Harrison. It took him 4 hours, and then he's done it. And there you go. So then his status, which is basically done, his name, the number of the task description, his ID, and how long it took. Okay, do you get that?
Yep.
Okay, because that's basically question 1 to 7. And then we got question 8. The total number of hours across all tasks should be accumulated and displayed all at once. Once the task have been entered. Yeah, that's something that I was trying to figure out. I feel like I just need to do a sum of that though, which is just the sum of all tasks just add into one. But basically, that's like the grounds of it. That's the grounds for it. We've basically done 3 to 6, which is most things. Because then afterwards and after this, we just need to put them into these little things from last time. So then and then we just go and after we've done that, it's just the testing phase. So then let's do this. Let's see. It's just so far we don't need this yet, so we close that. Okay, so then I'm just gonna make a new one. New Java main thing. Demo classes. Demo class. Okay, we're just gonna leave this. So then now we'll skip number 8 for now. But now we need to create a task class that contains the following messages. I call mine demo class, but we need to call it task class. Oh, yeah. So then now we do a boolean check description. So then we do public static boolean or boolean. This is called check description. Just gonna copy this. Check description. Return true. We're gonna do another class underneath that class. And this class is string. So public static string. Set up my mods. String create task ID. Return. Okay, I know there was a way to do this properly, but I'm just gonna make it return create task ID just as a placeholder. Another one. Public static. And what's this one next? Print details. Public static. Wait, was it a string? Yeah, public static string print details. Return print details. And then I think this is our last one. Public static integer. And wait, that's question 8. Return total hours. Return total hours. And then we will return total hours for now. This isn't really correct, but we'll just do it for now. Return total hours. Okay. So now let's just close most of these. Let's just focus on the first one. So now this is just so we put everything in classes, because we're going to take all of these lines and then we're going to put them in our first assignments. So now let's just check task description, and do they want anything special about it? Nope. This method ensures that the task description is no more than 50 characters. So then what we do, we go back to our description. So then we go to task now, we look to where we did the description. Here it is. Everything we've done here. So then we just select all of this. We copy it. We go to demo class. Just say okay. It adds all of this. And then that's it. And then we're done. We're done for this line. Yeah, we're done for this. Because yeah. it's setting phrase. They didn't ask us to say or if it's true or false. Okay, we're done with that. Now we do create task ID. So then we open this one. We look for where we did the code for the task ID, which is here. Now, this requires task name, task number, and the last three. Or TN that. But TN requires task name and developer details. So what we do is we'll copy task name, we'll place it here. You need a task name, task number, and developer details, which is underneath here, string dev det. And then we just copy our code that we did for ID. And there we go. And now we're done with this. Everything good so far?
Yep.
Okay, cool. I wonder how far this program is. This program is done an hour. Would it be big? No. Okay, just I'm gonna stop this program. Just want to see